Hello all and welcome to a brand new daily show, The Big Story, where we discuss the hottest topics of the day right in the heart of the newsroom. My name is Haryanto and I'm coming to you live from the Straits Times. And we are streaming to you live on Facebook as well as on YouTube, so be sure to hit the like button as well as comment and share. While you're at it, remember to hit the bell as well to be alerted of our videos. I'll have my newsroom colleagues joining me in this show to talk about the stories that got you talking today. And for our pilot episode, I have with me right here Editor-in-Chief English Malay Tamil Media Group, as well as Editor of the Straits Times, Warren Fernandez. Welcome, Warren.
Thank you, Haryanto.
Now, Warren, it's been quite an experience, walking through the newsroom and seeing how the whole place has transformed recently. Can you tell us more about the revamp, for instance, this new show that we have right here?
Well, first, let me congratulate you and the team for getting the show going. I hope the audience will like what they see. It's something that we've been doing over the last couple of years, just transforming the whole newsroom and trying to communicate with the audience and engage them in new ways. Because at the Straits Times, we no longer think of ourselves just as a newspaper. We want to work across all our platforms and come up with new content, not just in words, but in visuals, in videos, in voice, interactive graphics, newsletters. So that's the purpose of this transformation. And we've been working on it for a couple of years now, several years now. And part of that process was revamping the whole newsroom. So we completely gutted out the newsroom, put in new facilities like this new studio. And the idea is to be able to work across platforms, across desks, to come up with content which the audience will find engaging.
Right. And Warren, last week we had a very special guest visit right at our revamped newsroom. Tell us more about that.
Well, we were very lucky to have the President herself, Madam Halimah, come and visit, and we were honoured to have her. And it was an opportunity for us to show her the new facilities as well as what we've been doing over the last few years. And the reason she came was because we've been collaborating with the Istana on a series of videos called Faces at the Istana. And we wanted to show her what we had done, as well as the story about how we had put it together. And she watched the video, she enjoyed it, she thanked, and she got to meet the team, and that was a good opportunity for us as well.
Right. And right now we have a video of her visit. Let's take a look.
Huge leap of faith.
Morning.
Started off with President Ong Teng Cheong, President Nathan, 2 terms.
Meeting the dignitaries of other countries. My proudest moment in service life will be meeting Queen Elizabeth II.
Which one was like on that day?
Alright, there we have it, a video of President Halimah Yacob who visited us last week. So Warren, now that everything is up and running, moving forward, what can we expect? What are some of the exciting things that we can expect from the newsroom?
Well, this week we have a busy week because we have a whole bunch of editors from around the world who are coming for the World Association of Newspapers conference called Publish Asia. So many of them will be coming to visit and drop in on the studio as well, and maybe encounter you as well.
Yeah.
And we're also planning visits by a whole bunch of other people, some officials from the government, from the PR sector, and also to open up to our readers, our Straits Times readers and viewers to come and visit us as well. So we'll welcome some of your audience to come and join us.
Alright.
And going forward, really the idea is to have more programming like this. We'll try different things, see what works with the audience, and then we'll develop it from there.
Alright, so certainly very exciting things coming up for Straits Times right here. Once again, thank you, Warren, for being with us here to share more. Thank you. Thank you to share more about the revamped newsroom. Now on to our next topic. The Committee of Inquiry set up to investigate actor and NS-man Aloysius Pang death concluded that the incident was due to lapses of all 3 servicemen in the howitzer cabin. Now the findings were presented in Parliament today by Defence Minister Ng Eng Hen. I have our journalist with me right here, Lim Min Sang, who is going to talk about this topic right here. Welcome, Min Sang.
Hello, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, so Min Sang, what was your first reaction when you found out about the findings?
Right, so today in Parliament, it was the final COI report. So So it laid to rest a lot of the questions and the speculations that happened after the incident. For example, why was the barrel lowered, despite Aloysius being in the way, and why was the emergency buttons not pressed, and why did Aloysius not move out of the way? So it laid to rest a lot of these questions.
And of course, a clearer understanding of what actually happened. So now that the findings are out, and details have come to light, as it were, right? What actually happened in the howitzer, according to the findings?
Right. So according to the findings, there were there were 3 servicemen in the cabin at the time, so including Aloysius. So what happened was a regular technician with him at the time. So he told Aloysius to move out of the way because they wanted to lower the barrel. And Aloysius said it was fine. No, the barrel will not hit me. And the gun commander proceeded to lower the barrel still because he assumed that Aloysius would have time to move out of the path of the barrel. So he did that, and after that they panicked when the barrel started to move, and they did the wrong thing by not pressing the emergency buttons. So the technician actually tried to use his hands to stop the barrel, and the gun commander tried to use the main control screen to stop the barrel, but both of them did not manage to stop it, and the unfortunate incident happened.
And of course, again, none pressed onto the stop button, right?
Right. So the COI's conclusion was that all 3 servicemen shared some of the blame. They committed some lapses that led to the incident.
Right. And of course, for those of you who are watching us right now, and if you're wondering, right, how the Primus howitzer is being operated, let's take a quick look inside a howitzer and how it's operated during drills from our file footage in February. There you have it, a little bit more understanding about how the howitzer is operated. So Min Sang, now that the findings are out, so what's next, really?
Right. So the defense minister today, he announced some measures to prevent similar incidents from happening again. So one of them is now in the SSPH or the howitzer gun, you have a tape to mark out the safe and potentially hazardous areas. So hopefully you'll raise safety consciousness amongst the people who use the platform. And all crew using the platform now also have to go through emergency button drills. So it's a form of muscle memory. So every time they operate the platform, before that they have to do a drill where they press the button. So they'll be more familiar with it if the time comes when they need to use it. So another thing is now there's a checklist, a safety checklist for all army technicians. So they have to make sure their tools are serviceable. They have to make sure they identify all the hazards present in any maintenance task that they do. So hopefully this will be previously this was all practice, but now it's mandatory. So hopefully it also raise a safety consciousness. Right. And the last thing on what will happen to the 2 servicemen, right? So people will be interested to find out. So as this case happened in New Zealand, so Singapore police do not have the authority to investigate the case. So what will happen is the SAF Special Investigations Branch, they will conclude their investigations and will recommend any charges to be pressed in military court against the 2 servicemen, and the chief military prosecutor will decide on that.
Right. Okay. So there you have it, the details from the COI findings. Now for more news and of course updates on the findings, you can head on to our website at www.straitstimes.com. Thank you once again, Min Sang, for coming on board here to share a bit more on the findings. Now on to our third segment. Of course, this is for drivers out there. As the saying goes, don't drink and drive, or don't drive to drink, so you won't drink and drive. Now, under the proposed changes to the Road Traffic Act Act, road users who drive under the influence of drugs or alcohol will face double the penalties that are currently stipulated in law. Now, I have with me right here senior correspondent Zaihan Muhammad Yusof. Now, Zai has his own bike column and is affectionately known as Biker Boy in the newsroom. So, welcome, Zai. And Zai, you know, you're both a rider and a driver.
Yes.
Tell us, what is that one top pet peeve that you have on the roads?
As a driver, I hate it when a motorcyclist just comes into your frame without warning, you know, cuts in front of you.
Yeah.
As a rider, I hate it whenever a car changes lane without signaling or makes a sudden stop without, you know, giving fair warning.
Yeah.
So, you know, so both ways, I see it both ways, and I can understand the frustrations on both sides of the story.
Yeah, and this has to do, you know, with not being safe on the road, right?
Yes.
And, you know, the proposed changes also touch on that. But I think we want to talk a bit more on the drink driving, you know, with regard to the proposed changes. How will they affect drivers, especially the lifetime ban for drink drivers or those who drive under the influence of drugs?
Well, you have to look at it this way. The proposed changes, they basically fall into two categories. Basically, dangerous driving and careless driving.
Yeah.
And further, they are broken into 3 or 4 subcategories, depending on the severity. Now, if you drink, if you are under the influence of alcohol or drugs, you have this upsize factor. Basically, it brings up your jail term, your fines, plus your disqualification period.
Okay.
So you're looking at almost double the time.
Yeah.
So it all depends on how culpable you are during the time when the accident happened and so on.
When you get caught, right? And of course, you talking about the disqualification. So on the third offence.
Yes.
Right.
It's like like 3 strikes.
Yeah.
Of course, at every level, the fines will go up. In terms of disqualification will go up. And at the 3rd strike, you're out.
That's it. Done.
Yes.
No more driving.
That's a good thing if you're a safe driver and you're worried about all this recalcitrant or
even errant drivers on the road, right?
So you know they're out of the game. They can take the taxi for all we care, right?
Yeah. And Zai, you know, with these new proposed changes, right, how effective do you think it is? Does it really hit where it hurts the most?
Well,
reckon?
I think being Singaporean, of course, it will hurt the pocket the most, right?
Definitely.
I think it will hurt the pocket the most. And if you think that, if I can afford to pay all the fines, first fine, second fine, there is the clause where the third attempt, a third offence, you're basically banned for life. So money can't buy whatever, you know, you think you can get your weasel your way out of this. So you can't. So in a way, it will affect those who have been misbehaving on the roads or who are irresponsible.
And especially those who love driving, right? Who love cars and all that. I mean, to face a lifetime ban, that is a lot, right?
So better be a good boy, or you know, or when you
better
ride,
be a good driver, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Don't drink and drive. Now, with these heavier penalties all around, you know, we will shift on now to the part where, say, for instance, you know, an accident happened, but then the motorist is not liable. It's the victim that is in the wrong. How about that?
There has been some concern raised by members of the public in the government feedback portal, REACH, and among the questions raised is it deals with liability. So I think the authorities, what they're trying to say is that if you have been driving safely and there hasn't been any pattern of high risk behavior on your part, and when that accident happens, so you will not be liable, you know. You don't. If you are a safe driver, there's nothing to worry about. So that's the.
So just be safe. Make sure that you adhere to traffic rules. Stop where you're supposed to stop. Don't drink and drive. All this, be safe on the road, and of course within the speed limits as well.
Right.
There we have it. Now, for a full rundown of all the proposed changes to the Road Traffic Act, do visit our website www.straitstimes.com. We do have reports already written based on the Parliament sitting as well that happened today. Once again, thank you, Zai,
very much.
or Biker Boy,
No more
for shedding some light on this issue right here. Now, on to our last topic, looking to meet new friends from all over the world. How about opening up your home to have these guests stay over? Now, to share more on couch surfing culture here in Singapore and also Singaporeans who have opened up their home for couch surfing, I have travel correspondent Clara Locke here. Welcome, Clara.
Hi.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for being here now, Clara. Clara, first of all, in your story, and of course, when we had our chat earlier on as well, you mentioned that the couch surfing culture is not so strong here. People still don't know what it is. Maybe you can share with us what couch surfing is all about.
So Couchsurfing is basically like Airbnb, but free. And it's an international network of people who open up their homes to backpackers coming who can send a request for, a spare space in their house where they can like crash on the couch or crash on the floor and spend a few nights. But Couchsurfing isn't just about free accommodation. So the idea behind it is that host and guests have some kind of a cultural exchange and interaction, and they learn more about each other's, backgrounds and cultures and where they come from.
Right. Okay, so you mentioned they open up their house for free.
Yes.
They don't pay.
Yes.
Is it safe? For both the hosts and the guests, is it safe?
So that's a question that I get a lot when I talk about Couchsurfing. And there are some ways that both host and guests can make it safer for themselves or for their families. So on Couchsurfing, everyone has a profile, and that's where you put in information about yourself, like what you like to do and some highlights you've had while traveling. And it's also where people get references from people who have hosted them or people who they have stayed with before. So it's a good idea to read people's profiles and go through their references so that you get a better sense of who they are and suss out anyone who might be dodgy.
Okay.
One of the Couchsurfing hosts I spoke to, Miss Daniela Tan, she said that she also prefers to exchange a few messages with potential guests to get a sense of who they are and what they're like. And she also said that actually because it's her home, she never really feels unsafe because she feels like if she ever finds that the guest is a bit dodgy, she has the power to ask them to leave.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you're still in your own home, right? It's still in your own safe space. And in your story, you did interview some of the hosts as well. What are they like?
So I think one thing hosts have in common is that they've experienced great kindness when they were backpacking on their own, and they want to pay it forward. So for example, one of these hosts, Mr. Cheng Huang Ling, he's 71 years old and he's a retiree. But when he was 18 and studying in the UK, he backpacked a lot and he hitchhiked, and he received all these kindness from strangers who welcomed him into their homes and cooked meals for him. And now that he's got a home and he's got a place to host, he welcomes people from all over the world because he wants to pay it forward and show the same kind of kindness to other backpackers who are on a budget.
Right, so paying the kindness forward, Okay, so Clara, to round things up for this segment right here, would you, provide couchsurfing? Would you do couchsurfing, or as a host?
I think for me it would be difficult to host because my house is very small, so I don't have the additional space to host someone. And I think that's a problem that a lot of Singaporeans face because they don't have the additional room. But I have brought couch surfers around Singapore to show them the little unique spots that I like around the island. And I think that's one of the nice things about couch surfing in Singapore, because Singapore has a reputation as an expensive city, but when we show couch surfers the little nooks and crannies in the neighborhoods that we live in, I think it brings out a different side of the country.
Right, there you have it. Thank you, Clara, for coming onto our show to talk more about the couch surfing culture here in Singapore.
Thanks for having me.
A lot of people don't really know. Like before this, I wouldn't have known as well that it existed in Singapore. We've heard it overseas, but not so much here in Singapore, right? Yeah. So thank you once again, Clara. That's and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, our top stories for the day. For more news and videos, do head over to straitstimes.com. Once again, I'm Haryanto. Join us again same time tomorrow for more stories on The Big Story.